Morning Sleeping Beauties, specifically Alex Funk. I've decided that I'm just going to start randomly shouting out people, and Alex is the only one that commented on last week's video. It is week 4 of the 28-week training for the Dopey challenge at Walt Disney World. Today is day 21, and so far I have run 30 miles. The rules for this challenge are that every week I have to complete every training run, stretch after all runs, and tell you a story from a runDisney race weekend. There are currently 180 days until marathon weekend, so I'm going to go over the game plan in a minute, but first, coffee! I forgot to mention that I'm wearing the game plan shirt. This is the game plan shirt now. Okay. Coffee! Fully caffeinated and ready to go. So, this week, the game plan, it's going to look a little bit different. I was laying in bed yesterday, trying to fall asleep. My back has been a reoccurring theme for this entire training, and I'm going to the chiropractor. I'm seeing the chiropractor 3 times this week, and I was laying in bed trying to fall asleep, and I couldn't because of how much pain I was in. And I was thinking to myself, how am I going to run, 10 to 12 miles this next week? Something that I learned a long time ago that has stuck with me ever since is don't let what you can't do interfere with what you can do. So I really don't think that I'm going to be able to run this week, and I don't think that it's necessarily that smart to run. And so I can't run, but what can I do? I can still walk. So I figured for the Tuesday 45-minute run, that will just be a 45-minute walk. Then, depending on how I'm feeling, Thursday, the 45-minute run will either be a walk or I might get on the Peloton for 45 minutes. And then on Saturday, I have a 5.5-mile run. I'm actually golfing with my family on Sunday after my cousin's wedding. My cousin's getting married this weekend. Very exciting.
Wedding. I love weddings. Drinks all around.
So on Sunday, we're playing golf, so I figured I would walk that entire thing, and that'll be somewhere in the ballpark of about 4, maybe 5 miles. And then I'll finish out however many miles it is that I don't walk after the round. So I just finished my 45-minute walk. I walked about 1.25 miles at the gym, just on the treadmill. And the entire time, I was listening to this David Goggins audio that's on YouTube. And it was getting me pumped up. And I was just like, I just got to go. I just got to do something that people will say is crazy, that I'm crazy for doing, something that is really going to challenge me and put me in an uncomfortable place where there is no option but to grow.
For me, I'm not some naturally God-given guy. I don't have a great bit of talent in anything. So what got me through horrible times was the dark side. My name is David Goggins. I created Goggins. Goggins is the guy that can take anything you put in front of him. You want to break my legs? So be it. I have a way of going to a place like I did in that race where all the pain and suffering that they put on top of me in Hell Week, I will reverse that pain and suffering, and I will take your soul. So every instructor that put me through Buzz, my job, what drove me, was I wanted you to go home that night after you beat the living shit out of me, and I smiled in your face. I wanted you to feel worse than I did, and you were going home to a nice warm bed with your wife or your kids and a nice meal, and I was still out there in the grit, suffering for another 100 hours. I wanted you to think about me, knowing that I'm comfortable being very uncomfortable.
And done. I know it's not Saturday, but we gotta go right into story time here. Okay, so it's a little bit later. I stretched, and then I showered, and then I ate dinner, and now it's a little bit later in the day. And I am not in the intense state of mind that I was in earlier, but regardless, this story, this actually isn't a Run Disney story, so I'll tell a short Run Disney story a little bit later on in the video. But this is a story about belief, and that you can do what you set your mind to, and you can also sell yourself on why you can't do something. So when I was in 6th grade, I remember we were playing baseball in gym class, and I was up to bat, and I struck out, and the gym teacher, so my last name is Alcantara, and the gym teacher said, "You just put the can't in Alcantara." And I forget why, but recently I was talking about how I never played baseball, and I didn't really know why. I didn't actually ever play a spring sport in general, and I didn't know why. And I think that that's one of the reasons, because of just like the embarrassment. And I was thinking about it, and I was like, screw that gym teacher. He was like a 40-year-old dude making fun of a 6th grader for striking out. Like, your teachers are supposed to be the ones that are encouraging you, not discouraging you. But that always stuck with me. And in the David Goggins audio that I was listening to, he talked about how he created this guy Goggins, that he taps into when he really needs to just like gut through something. I don't even know if that's a saying, but it felt right. And so I decided on my run that I'm going to create this guy throughout my training that I'm going to call Alcantara. And I don't want to give power to that gym teacher because he was a dick. And like I said, making fun of a 6th grader, like, that's ridiculous. But what I do want to focus on is the can in Alcantara. And so that's what I'm going to do throughout the training, is create this person that I can tap into to get me past the finish line, to get me through a run if I'm not feeling it, that person just does not take no for an answer, does not stop until the mission is completed, until I've finished that run, whatever it is. And if my leg hurts, if my knee hurts, if my foot hurts, if my feelings are hurt, whatever, he's going to say, Roger that, and keep going. So that's what I decided. That story time, not the best story time. And like I said, it's not a Run Disney story time. So I'll tell another, a funnier story later on in the week. Let's go play some golf. Just hit my approach shot, and it landed off the green and rolled all the way to right. Oh, you can't even see it.
I'm not going to use the mini ball for going over.
Right there. When I said I'd walk, no one said anything about hills. But now I'm gonna run downhill with the doggy. Whoa, it's a big hill. Getting my run in. Get up there. Oh. I've got to talk in my golf commentator voice, but I just passed 2 miles and we're on hole 8 right now. So it'll probably end up being a bit short of the 5.5 miles that I'm supposed to run today. So we'll have to make that up after the round is done. Okay, so we finished golfing and we actually ended up only playing 9 holes. So I finished my run at 2.65 miles, like a 15-minute per mile pace, which not that bad. And so because of that, I just ran the other 3-ish miles I'm also wearing a lot of KT tape on my leg, which you probably saw in the golfing clips. And it's helped out a lot, but I would imagine that I'm probably going to have a really weird tan by the end of the summer. But it is what it is. If it helps me run, I'm going to do it. So, story time. My first marathon at Disney World was 2023, and I really wanted to ride a ride during the marathon or half marathon. I came really close to riding the carousel during the half marathon, but the timing just wasn't right. And so the next year, I was like, all right, my goal is to get on Expedition Everest during the marathon. So fast forward, I ditched my friends Anna and Michaela. I was like, hey, sorry, we're not in the same crowd. I'm not going back with you guys. I need to get on Everest. It's one of my dreams. And they were like, okay, that's fair. So I got on Everest, which was super, super exciting. It's really cool that Disney does that. And I sat down next to some random dude because I was a single rider. So I was like, what's your name? And he was like, my name's Rob. And I was like, oh, my name's Robert. Nice to meet you. We had an awesome time on Everest. And then fast forward 1 year later, during the 2025 marathon, I was able to get on Everest again, which was, again, really, really exciting. It's one of my favorite roller coasters. And I sit down next to this random guy. I was a single rider again. And I was like, what's your name? And he was from England, so he had an accent. And it sounded like he said ROP, R-O-P. So I was like, sorry, say that again? And then it sounded more like Rob. And I was like, there's no way that happened 2 years in a row. And so I had to ask one more time. And then I explained to him why I asked a third time. And I was like, that is crazy. The 2 times that I've gotten on Everest during a marathon, I sat next to people both named Rob. Crazy. I almost don't want to go on Everest this year because I'm afraid that the streak will be ruined. I'll probably still try and get on Everest. It'll depend on my PR time and how we're looking with that. So if you are training for Dopey, this upcoming week you've got your 5.5 mile run. I would say it's a breeze and it's not that bad, but I didn't run half of it. But you got this. You'll do great. Thank you so much for watching. As always, we'll see you real soon. Peace. Huxley, do you want to say hello to everybody? Say hello. Hello. Hello, this is Huxley. Thank you for watching the video.